Hey guys, welcome back to Millennial Secrets. I hope that you're prepared for this one. It's going to be a good one. I'm so excited. I cannot believe that I've got these two guests with me. This is all about ghosting today. So we've all been there. We've either been the recipient of being ghosted or we've ghosted somebody else. And what I want you to do is just imagine that you're on a nice date with someone. Maybe you've been seeing them for a couple of months. It's all going really well. You've texted, you've maybe slept with them a few times and it's great. And then all of a sudden, all of the communication just ends. And that's what ghosting is. So unfortunately, if that's something that's happening to you at the moment, if the WhatsApp messages are not coming through and maybe you're wondering why, it's because that person has just disappeared. So before I introduce my amazing guests, I am just going to read a definition of it for you. So ghosting. Ghosting is abruptly ending communication with someone without explanation. The concept that most people refer to during this is in romantic relationships, but this can also happen in the workplace or friendships where you just disappear or that person just disappears. And a lot of this has been blamed on dating apps. So I'm going to introduce my two guests. April, everybody already knows you.
I'm back, baby.
And a new guest who you might recognise from Netflix Squid Games.
Ooh,
Congratulations. Go on, introduce yourself.
My name is Lorenzo and I'm 27 actually. I say 25 sometimes, just to sound younger. But
And we used to work at a bar together in Soho. That's how I
We
knew
did,
you.
yeah.
You were always the most outrageous person there.
wow.
Chucking drinks at people and
Oh my God, we come a long way.
we've come a long way. Look
we
at
were
us
poor
now.
before,
We
and
were.
look at us now.
We were. This
Still
is-
poor.
No,
Joking,
no,
I'm
no.
joking.
You've got things going on, and this is great. So, the first question that I have for both of you is: have either of you ever been ghosted before? And I'm going to start with Lorenzo.
It's actually happened to me, but I feel like I was very young when that happened. It's not happened to me in the past 5 years. I'm usually not the recipient of ghosting.
Okay.
I mean,
Right. Well, there's
I'll
another
leave
question
it there.
coming up. April.
Not like seriously. I've been ghosted in like, we've seen each other a couple times. It's not that deep. A lot. But I like, I don't know. Like, can you ask me the question again?
Yeah. So, have you ever been ghosted?
Sorry. Can you ask me the question again?
Yeah. Have you ever been ghosted?
she's hungover.
I'm keeping this in. This is great. Guys, just in case you haven't noticed, these two were out all night last night, partying, doing God knows what, and they are struggling. I'm the grown up in this one, and
Yeah.
I actually didn't go out last night. I got an early night. So they're both dying right now, and I'm making them drink and talk about their sex lives. So go on.
Yeah, I've been ghosted quite a few times, but never really seriously. Only after a couple of dates, one or two.
Did it hurt you when you did get ghosted?
Once it's hurt me. The rest I don't care.
Right. When did it hurt? Like, what happened?
So this is actually really recent. Like, it feels weird to talk about it. Like, I'll die if he sees this, but I really don't.
Fuck it, I hope he does
I
see
don't
it.
even have him on social
He might
media.
come back when he sees it.
No, but you don't want him back because
I
you're
don't
not.
even have him on social media. But actually, it's an interesting story, and it goes to show that you shouldn't really like fill in the gaps about what people are thinking yourself. So, I was sleeping with a guy. We slept together like 3 times, I think, and I started to quite like him, and I thought that he liked me as well. He was actually giving me signs. He was like, next time we should go for a drink and like meet outside of my house. So I was like, okay, let me ask him out then. And he was like, oh, I'm going to America for a bit, because that's like normal for him. He travels for work. So, but when I'm back in 2 weeks, let's go for a drink. And I'm like, okay. 2 months passes by, and I never heard another word. And in my head, I'm thinking like, obviously he didn't actually, I don't know why he would have said, oh, let's go for a drink, because there was no reason to say that. But obviously he didn't want to and thought I was doing too much. He didn't want to take it outside of sex. And,
But was it just like a sexual relationship? Like, how did you test intentionality? That's my question for you.
We were just sleeping together, but
Oh.
But we would hang out all night. I'm losing my train of thought. I left, right, and centre today.
That's all right.
No, so basically, yeah, I was thinking that he didn't want to speak to me anymore. And, you know, I accepted it. I was like, whatever, it's pretty clear, right? But then, I forgot what I was going to say again. Oh my God, I am actually so hungover. Like, what is going on with me? My ADHD
That's okay.
is
But the
going
thing with it is so Hinge have got a podcast out, and what they've said is that the reason that this happens a lot is because people aren't setting their intentions. So people aren't saying, I'm just in this to fuck. I'm just in this to go on a couple of dinners.
Oh, I'm
and
so
some people,
annoyed that I ruined that story because it actually has a
No,
really
but at the
good
same
ending.
time, my opinion is, do you have to set up intentions? As in, like, as you grow older, unless you're like under 20, is that that's part of growth. Is that you need to understand. You can't just be like, oh, let me set out my intentions, this and that. You need to pick up on social cues. Unless you're like on the spectrum, then maybe you can pick up on those.
But I do think that there are some people that just like to date, or there are some people that just like to go on.
But at the same time, I put the responsibility on you to be like, you should be picking up on those cues. If you understand that someone is just there, I'm not sorry, I don't want to be like nasty to you, but I think the guy, even when they say, oh, but I'm off to a place, bus, finished, block.
No,
blocked
I
it.
know.
For me, you tell me, for example, I was actually going on a date with this guy, and he was like, oh, I'm thinking about moving to Berlin. And I was like, I'm never going to see you again. Because you want to move to Berlin. If that's your plan, why would I be dating you? I don't like Berlin, and I don't like the people that want to move
But
there.
we're very thankful for anyone in Berlin that is watching this podcast or listening to it.
But at the same time, you guys are too grungy for me. Like, you're too, it's too much. You're doing too much for me. We'll never move to Berlin.
Second question, have you ever ghosted someone else?
I just remembered the end of my story.
Okay.
Go on.
No, so-
Go on.
Go off then, girl.
No, so basically, yeah. So I was just like assuming he didn't want to be with me. That's so deep. I was no.
Yeah, that's
I
like,
was-
Are you okay?
no, I was just assuming like I was fine with it really, but I was a bit confused because why would you say, oh, I want to meet up with you and then ghost me? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Just say you're not interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, I ended up reaching out because I was getting like signs. I don't know. Like, my co-star was like, reach out to that person. So I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. Like, what have I actually got to lose? So I reached out and I was like, hey, how are you? And he didn't reply at first. And I like went off at him. I was like, it wasn't that bad, but I was like, oh, I can't believe like you didn't just tell me you're not interested. And it turns out that he actually he'd just been diagnosed with a really serious health condition, and he'd like received this diagnosis and was like, you know, not really fucking dating because he was dealing with something really serious.
Oh, you're like terminal cancer.
No, it wasn't that. It was like, I mean, I'm not gonna go and like,
it's fine.
not,
That's his business.
It's
Yeah.
his business, but
Well,
yeah,
spill the
but
tea.
so I mean, I feel like that's why you should never just make assumptions and just say like, I was literally going because he was a very successful person in his career, and I was like, he doesn't like me because I'm poor. Like, I was actually
Wow.
making up this
No,
shit in
but
my
then
head.
I-
Well,
Improvise,
we're gonna
no.
get on to what it does to somebody mentally, because again, I've done my research on this and I've done my
Really?
notes. But you are a ghoster, aren't you? You ghost people.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think ghosting is actually a mature thing to do, as in like, especially if you live.
Wow.
No, I think it's a mature thing because it's like, unless if you live in a big city, you're not like a super country person, then of course your dating pool is like 20 people max. I think in this day and age, if you live in like, for example, London, ghosting is totally acceptable. It's actually the best thing to do. That's what I believe in. And if we be on like less than 5 dates, at some point I'm just gonna ghost you if I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Because
agree?
ultimately that spares your ego. Because if I actually watched Dating on the Spectrum, and the people were like taught to actually, in a respectful way, tell them why they were gonna cut contact and whatever. But I think, especially with us, it's more like get the social hint. If I don't reply to you, I've seen the message. You know what I mean? There's never I hear mainly like from girls, I ain't gonna lie, that they go about like, oh, maybe something happened to him, or maybe he's ill, or maybe something happened to his mother. I'm like, girl, like,
Right, so
that's not what's
let's
going on.
Give us an example of when you've ghosted a guy and tell us why you did it.
The last one, been on one date, he says something. I'm very picky, and I love being picky, and if you're hearing this, never let anyone, even your friends, tell you you're too picky. There's no such thing as too picky. Be as picky as you want. Better die lonely than dying with settling down with someone.
Yeah.
And it happened because I didn't like his fashion style. He showed me something he was gonna buy, and he was gonna buy like these Prada shoes with a big ass triangle with Pristine Prada.
I almost wore a Prada top today with a big triangle.
Well, thank God you didn't.
I almost wore it. I almost wore that today.
I got nothing against Prada. I'm just saying, if you
I
buy,
did almost.
well,
I'm
thank
not
God
even
you didn't,
lying. I'm
'cause
not even lying.
I would have been judging that shit. Sorry, but no, it's cute. I'm sorry.
Oh my
I'm not saying
God.
that. But he was gonna buy like chunky Prada shoes with a big triangle, thinking it was cool. I think he wanted to impress me, and I was kind of like, yeah, I think that like might look
But could
tacky.
you-
And he was like, how can Prada
could
look
you-
tacky?
no, but could
Prada
you-
can look tacky.
But could you not appreciate the effort because you're Italian? Because
No,
you know,
no. There are, please. It's like people saying, "Oh, I've been to Italy," and he starts naming all these places. I'm like, please, like we're not. I mean, just because you know some places geographically in Italy, we're not really gonna connect about that, are we?
So in the Washington Post, they've said that most people have a sense that it's wrong if you ghost someone after you've seen them a few times. So if it's more than just sex, then it's...
Yeah, but how can these people are probably delusional people that have been writing this? I'm like, how did you not sense?
Did you have sex with the guy
No, I didn't.
because of the Prada shoes?
That was a big part of it. Yeah, they were chunky Prada shoes. I'm like, that is not.
So it
good.
doesn't matter how attractive that person was.
I mean, I feel like we didn't. Also, oh yeah, no, it's okay.
Go on.
I really like playing chess, and he invited me to play chess. It takes me to a place where they don't have chess. And I have on my dating apps that it says, if you don't play chess, do not message me. And I was like, so you did all of this. It was a stunt not to play chess with me. And I was like, is it okay if you don't play chess? And I was like, obviously not. Like, I just came all the way here because I wanted to play chess. So that was another turn off for me. And third thing, he was hanging out in Clapham. And I was like, oh, do you actually like Clapham? And he was like,
No,
yeah. And I was
stop.
like,
I've got a lot of people that watch this who live in Clapham.
well,
I hang out
sorry.
in Clapham.
Okay, but
I like
you like the host of the podcast. You don't have to like me. Okay, we don't. Maybe we're not meant to be, and that's okay. I'll live. I'll survive. It's okay.
I like Clapham. There's lots of Australians there.
Yeah.
That's the second problem about Clapham. There's Australians.
Right, okay, that's been... okay. April, have you
Not a
ghosted
fan.
someone?
Sorry. Australians are the craziest people. You basically get crazy English people going to there, like they had like mental problems, they were criminals, put into Australia, and that's the produce of craziness.
Right, April, have you ghosted anyone?
Yeah. I think ghosting is fine. Oh my god.
Ya Allah.
Keep going.
See, that's what happens when you talk about Australians. This happens. And Clapham. It's bad vibes.
Yeah, I ghost people. I ghost people all the time.
You go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. After 1 or 2 days, I always ghost people.
Yeah.
I think I agree with what Lorenzo said. I think it is mature. I think it's weird to over-explain when you've literally been on one date. And I was sleeping with this guy up north, and he we literally slept together once, and I was literally just trying to link him. I was like, I'm gonna be here at Christmas. Like, do you want to hang out?
Did you say beforehand that you just wanted sex?
Yes.
Okay, well you've said.
Well,
that's it.
You
yeah,
also
I
voiced
basically,
it.
Yeah, and then I reached out to him because I was going to be up north for a bit, and he literally goes, I'm dating someone exclusively now. I'm so sorry to disappoint you. And then blocks my number. I'm like, I'm not thinking about you.
All right then. Well, ladies and gentlemen
Disrespect.
listening to
But
this.
I respect a blocking like action. I ain't gonna lie. This is what I mean. I feel like sometimes if someone ghosts you, I'm kind of I get the hint. We're just gonna get on with our lives.
Why am
Like,
I the only one in this conversation that thinks that these two are nuts?
No,
I
think
think
there are levels to it.
Yeah, and I'm going to get onto that, but I think, look, 1 or 2 dates, fine. You don't owe that person an explanation.
So you ghost them. Then
Can I
say
just
it on
say-
camera. You ghost people.
I'm going to get onto me in a minute. But I think if you've seen that person a few times, you've gone out for dinner.
No, a few
they've-
times is very vague though. Sorry. I'm
Okay, if you've been seeing that person for a month, do you think it's acceptable to just...
how many times is in a month?
Yeah, because
Because this is London, baby. It might be once. I'm telling you.
Okay, right. Let's say 2 months. They've met your friends.
No, but
Oh, if they've met your
Oh,
friend.
met your
met your
friends.
friends. Okay, no, that's kind of
yeah,
different.
you can't ghost them.
Imagine their parents.
Yeah. And
No,
that's
okay, that's different.
that a lot of people are doing that. They'll meet the friends, or let's say, for example, you've gone to about 5 or 6 different restaurants with them, or you've gone on dates. You
Okay.
spent some money on that person.
Oh, okay. That's very. That for me.
And that's what I'm
changes
talking
things.
about. Like, I think what you guys
Yeah.
are talking about leaving after hooking up,
No,
which
okay,
is
yeah,
different
that's
because a
different.
hookup is different. But if you've really let that person into your life,
I agree. Yeah.
they've smelt your bed sheets, they know what kind of soap you've got in your bathroom, and then you ghost them.
Well, every boy I've ever spoke to knows what soap I've got in my bathroom.
What soap do you have?
I don't know.
You
I
don't know
don't
what
even
soap
know
you have?
myself. But
Okay.
they've all been round to my house.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have lovely
So,
soap.
do you two think that ghosting's acceptable after how long?
Personally, I think like 3, 4, 5/5 dates. No, 3 dates. I think that's what I draw the line. 3 dates is kind of, I'm testing the area. It's not deep. I'm gonna ghost you. Get on with your life. It's actually, I'm sparing your ego, because if I explain to you why I don't want to date you, it's nothing. It's nothing that you're doing wrong, which is I understood we're not compatible. So why would I go out of my way to explain why we're not compatible when you should just get on with your life? If you're getting ghosted, they don't like you enough to
Yeah.
date you. Move on with your life. That's my
I
opinion.
think it's so embarrassing to be told, like, especially after 1 or 2 dates, someone saying, yeah, like, I'm sorry I didn't feel a connection. That is so embarrassing. Like, just don't text me.
Yeah,
Which is like, well,
I thought we had fun. on
Well,
the
this
date.
is the thing, because in, again, the Washington Post, they're saying most ghosts aren't proud of their behaviour. They just don't know how to have hard conversations. And I think that's something that's
I
more
relate to that.
symptomatic of this generation, because...
No, can you repeat that? Sorry.
So basically, just to summarise it,
Right.
most people who ghost aren't proud of the fact that they've just disappeared.
Oh, I'm very proud.
They just don't...
I am.
But you're a diva. But most people are ashamed of the fact that they've done that. They're just like, I don't know how to tell that person. And the woman that wrote this article, in 2012, the big thing, so we were all like young teenagers back then, people were breaking up over text, and that was the shocking thing. Like, oh my God, I can't believe he ended this over a text. I can't believe she ended this on a text. Do you not think that just disappearing is worse than saying to somebody on text, you know what, not feeling it? Or are you scared of what they're going to say about you and the reasons why they're leaving?
I think you brought up something very interesting, because I feel like we don't have rules. Like, we have technology only quite recently, you know what I mean? We don't know the rules of and boundaries of should I let you know over text? Like, back in the days when this woman wrote it, because she's probably older, it was like we didn't have these
She's in
instant...
her mid-30s. She's in her mid-30s. She's young.
Yeah, but still, she didn't have access to social media or whatever up until she was like 25 or something. I mean, we're old millennials, so we weren't born with technology. It's a new thing we're trying out. So we don't really know the rules and how it's appropriate to ghost or whatever. We're making it as we go. And back to your question, which I don't remember fully.
Are you scared? Basically, are you scared of the feedback? Are you scared that... Because sometimes what they're saying is people that ghost, they're not proud of it, but the reason they're doing it is because they don't know how to break.
But
up
I
with
think
someone.
so. See, that's why I don't like people when they do something and they feel like I'm not proud of it. I'm like, then you're an insecure little bitch. I'm sorry.
But
if
does
you
that
do
not-
anything in life, do it with chest. Own up to it.
But is that not contradicting what you've said? Because if you're going to do something with chest, then surely you owe that person an explanation, right? Do you
No,
not
I'm
agree with that?
ghosting with chest.
But that's cowardly because you're not telling them.
But why? But the point is, if I tell you, you're gonna feel your ego's gonna be affected, right? So I'm actually doing you a favor by sparing your ego and like letting you get on with your life without
What do you
like.
think?
About...
Do you think that ghosting is better because you don't want the feedback? You don't want...
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the situation. Like, of course, what you said, where they've met all your friends and this, that, and the other, and you've been dating for months, then, yeah, you kind of do owe that person something. But after just a couple dates, you really don't owe anyone anything. I mean, like, even the guy I was talking about at the beginning who was going through, like, the health shit and he wasn't thinking about dating, he really did not owe it to some girl he slept with 3 times to tell her about something emotionally devastating he's going through. And when he told me that, I actually completely understood it. And like it did kind of suck because he's like the only person I liked in 2 years, but
Really?
yeah, but you know, whatever. Like I didn't cry about it. You know what I mean? Like I've moved on.
Yeah,
How often do both of you go on dates?
quite often.
Right, we'll start with April this time. And we'll let the diva continue.
When I have time, I'm very busy. I'm for someone who does fuck all. I'm busy all the time.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a day free to go on a date, but when I do enjoy it. I've actually made some really good friends through dating, which I really love as well. But yeah, when I have time, I love a date. I think it's so fun. I love meeting new people.
Yeah. I think that's good. And our episode that we filmed is going to come out like in a couple of weeks, and people will understand a bit more about that side of things. So I don't want to reveal too much because that episode is explosive, and make sure you're tuned in for that. But how about you?
I feel like I don't date that much, actually, thinking about it. I feel like I'm very intentional with my dates. Ultimately, I've changed my ways, but I am Italian, and that I mean, I'm Italian living in London, but I'm still quite a romantic. So for me, I vet my dates. If I hear even one message, I scrutinize them. If it's something I don't like, I will not go on a date with them. So it
Can
needs
I ask
something.
a question? Have you received? How do I say this? Right, because you were on that show, because you were on Squid Games and all of that.
Oh, all
I
my dates
bet
are
when
coming.
yeah,
All my
I
dates are
bet-
coming from that.
yeah. And do you feel like
Thank
you're
you.
being used?
No, I don't feel I've been used. Although I feel like I've been on some dates where the people were kind of like, I feel like it's shifted. Although obviously that didn't make me like famous or anything like that, but I do feel like for them it's a thrill to go out with someone that their friends know that they've seen on TV. And sometimes I've questioned their intentionality to be like, do you like me because of me, or do you like me because you like the idea of me on
So
the
what
show?
has happened is like you match with somebody and then do they bring up Squid Game straight away? Or
No, sometimes it's sneaky because then they meet up and it was like, oh, like we were actually rooting for someone else in the show, like to be, kind of.
oh, this was during the show. It was when it was on, and
Yeah, no, people have been on dates where like they just bring it up to be like, so I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. Like, how was the show? Like, I my favorite was actually someone else, and I'm kind of like, they're like, yeah, right, but you're out on a date with me, so I better be your favorite, otherwise, what the fuck?
well, I just
Like,
want to
pisses
say
me
I
off.
was watching you in bed with somebody else, and we're both rooting for you.
Okay, thanks. But because you know me, otherwise you'd be.
No, but it was
me.
such a we'll do another episode on this, but it was such an amazing thing. But I just wanted to know if like do you get recognised when you're in Soho, because you love Soho, you love Old Compton Street,
I
you
do
love
love-
strutting down those
I don't
cobbled
love Soho,
streets.
no.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
And when you walk down that street, when you walk down Old Compton Street, do you feel like people are coming up to you and they're
I'm not gonna lie to you, I love it. Yes, I feel like quite not that often, but I feel like in a whole day that I'm out, like 3 or 4 people might come up to me like, hey, they don't even know my name. They probably like, I've seen you on the show. I was like, yeah, which show? I was like, they say like, you look familiar. I'm like, yeah, I look familiar. I was like, yeah, I think I've seen you somewhere. I was like, no idea. And then I don't know, I just play with it. But I love it. Yeah, I love connecting to people. But then it kind of prevents me because, for example, yesterday I was in heaven, embarrassing. People will come up to me and be like, hey, I've seen you on the show. And they were kind of cute. But then they were like, can I take a picture? I was like, yeah, sure. But then I was like, are you not flirting with me? I feel like they're kind of put off by that, thinking maybe I wouldn't get with them. But actually, maybe I would.
But would you ghost somebody because they recognised you from the show?
Oh, no, I met some, well, I think it helps me. I love it because I went to a bar. The last guy I've been on a couple of dates with, he saw me and was like, yeah, I recognize it from a show, but I actually think you're fit. Like, so it's almost a booster. Like, it wasn't, yeah, I feel like it's a good thing for me.
Good.
I saw a tweet and was like, Lorenzo's gonna get so much dick after this show, and I was like, yeah, write this
Love
song,
that.
please.
No, okay, so if someone does recognise you and they match with you on an app, when do you want them to bring it up? Would you want them to straight away be like, hi, I recognise you? Or would you want them to slowly reveal it? Or would you want them to pretend they didn't?
You know what? The pretending kind of works on me.
I don't believe you. I'm sorry, I do not
Yeah,
believe
if they
you.
pretended, then they recognize me. I'm kind of like, maybe they don't know. I've been
Come
on
on,
that
it
Netflix
was
show.
one of the biggest shows on
Me and
Netflix.
my friend Jacob were obsessed
Jacob!
with that show.
I went to uni with April and Jacob, so
Okay, really?
yeah.
We were like, I was like, I need to come around to your house every night of the week and watch this show.
Oh,
It was,
really?
we were like so into it.
Wow.
We were hooked.
So we're going to still stick on the whole thing with ghosting, but I'm going to pivot because I think we've gone into quite an interesting part of this discussion. So I get the vibe that from both of you, both want to be famous. Is that true?
I want to be famous because I want my job to be doing nothing but being myself.
So like reality television and that's sort of
I
thing.
want to be famous because like I literally want my life to be like, wake up, get a matcha latte, go to a yoga class, go to a market, do whatever the fuck I want, and I get paid for it.
Instagram
and famous
girly.
people can do that. You know, like if I was a TikToker or whatever, I say that I literally haven't posted on TikTok in months, but I could just, you know, like I would be paid to just to live my life, and that's what I want really. So when I say I want to be famous, I don't want like people taking pictures of me on the street, although I wouldn't mind it, like I wouldn't hate it, but I mainly just want it so that I don't have to work.
Okay, I am bringing this back to ghosting, guys. I just need to hear the responses from both of them because I've thought about this. And how about you?
I wouldn't. If you ask me, like, do you want to be famous? I'd be like, I would say no, as in I don't really care about that. But linking to what she was saying, what I enjoy, me personally, and that's why I like the reality, whatever, it just being myself. And that's ultimately, I mean, I really enjoy doing that. I feel like bringing my personality and my fashion. Like I just want to bring me, and then if fame comes, good. But if not, I just want to express my art in my way.
But if you
I would
wanted to
say that.
express your art, you could do that in a gallery in Dalston. You're going on Netflix.
No, okay,
Come on.
Yeah,
It's time to be honest.
Okay, yes. I feel I'm ambitious because I think. Listen, I'm not like I've been reading like Malcolm X lately, the autobiography, and he was saying that the biggest achievement in my life. I know it's like far fetched, but my biggest achievement in life is like people respect what I'm saying. I feel like that for me would be important because I feel like everything I say, I'm a thinker of big systems. I think all the time. That's what I'm good at, overthinking. So I feel like I really agree with Malcolm X on that. Was like, I feel I'd be nice to your voice to be a reference and be respected.
Right. Okay. So because let's just say both of you want, whether you're saying you want to be famous or you want your ideas to be out there or your voice to be out there, would you, if you were in a relationship with someone and it was going really well, but the opportunity for fame was just dangling, just think about it, the best opportunity you could ever think of, massive show, millions of viewers every single night. So you can choose that, or you can choose the love of your life.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, bitch.
And there we go.
I got another one.
And there we go. I
Because
caught them out.
money and career.
Can I
and
just
being-
say I
being
laid a trap for both of
comfortable
you,
in
and you
life.
both walked straight into that trap.
But the level of my life will respect my job first.
No, but I also think I think that having career, money, and comfortability and being able to travel is so much more important than having a partner. For me personally, some people are partner.
So you would say you would go for fame over the love of your life.
I would go for success over the love of my life.
Wait, but surely the love of your life would.
No, but that wasn't the question. It was one or the other. It was
one or
one of
the
the.
other.
You
But
have
what's
to.
the fame for? Am I famous because I'm successful and I'm good at what I do, or am I
Look,
just famous for nothing?
however you picture it, it could be fame as in loads of money, loads of success.
Okay, yeah, success.
Your thing of like the matcha lattes, the walking down Portobello Road and doing whatever the hell you want.
You already have it.
I'm drinking prosecco, babes.
Sorry that it wasn't champagne this
not
time,
champagne.
but we'll get that at the season wrap. Yeah, that was very interesting, and I was wondering how you were going to both. Well, I knew how you were going to answer that.
Can I say something though?
Go for it.
No, because I really hear this money thing, and I feel like, but I don't know. I'm just giving you another key because I feel like maybe we're similar in this, but sometimes it's like Western values. I'm not saying they're bad or wrong. Like I definitely have a lot of, some part of my life really believe also in corporate values and making money, getting up the ladder, which are also values that are attractive to me, and being famous, getting money. But at the same time, sometimes you think like it's ambitious and nice, but sometimes like, I don't know, maybe if I moved to like the Philippines or to Jamaica and had my own farm and have my own community around me, like
That's
you don't
my
read,
dream.
you know what I mean? That's also like, when
Really?
you're dead, no one cares. Like, let's say Marilyn Monroe, we talk about her. She was the most famous of the 60s, whatever. We talk about her like once every 5 years, right? Like you're never going to be really relevant. If I ask you or you the names of your great grandparents, you probably don't know any of them. And that's the closest people, like a couple of generations ago from you. Do you know the name of great grandparents?
She was alive when I was alive.
Same.
Only one.
Yeah,
Same.
one.
No,
Yeah.
two of them were. I'm very lucky. Like most people don't
They
get to
were?
meet both of their great grandparents. There we go. Editor Will in the back.
You know 3 of them?
Yeah.
He knows. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and he's our age too.
Do you know the 4th one's name? Do you know the name on the 4th great grandparents?
I'm gonna let you have this and just no.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well,
Okay.
but anyway.
I see your point.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Great grandparents, not grandparents. You still know your
Yeah,
great grandparents?
Not great, not 2 greats.
Okay, yeah. Well, anyway, even great grandparents.
Right. So you two would both ghost someone if the opportunity came up. All
Yeah,
that
of
success
course.
that you want.
But
all
I
that
just
fame.
think that for me, romance isn't important. I've got my friends.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give up my friends for that. Never.
You would
Like,
give up.
you don't want to
yeah.
be successful and lonely. But people think being lonely is being single, and I think that's so wrong. If you have good friends, you're never lonely.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I think that there's no such thing as being to honestly be as picky as you can. I know it's like, oh, back in the days, yeah, fuck back in the days. And I don't compare myself to someone that lives again in the countryside that's got a smaller pool. I mean, we live in big cities, right? We're gonna have to be picky.
But also
Period.
back in the day, like, think about how many of your grandparents, like, oh yeah, like granddad. I don't know why I'm making this so personal, but like, you know, think of all the people, like maybe not relatives, but in the olden days, the man would hit her, and cheat on her.
Yeah.
And like, so yeah, I agree. Like,
You can leave.
I think it's good. I think it's good to
I
be
hear your
picky.
point.
Like back in those days, they would get married at 18, have babies, and the man would just cheat and like be abusive,
Which
they
and
still
they would
do.
just deal with that. So
Stephen, sorry.
sorry, I don't know why I took that so intense.
No,
but-
we
No,
love
I
it.
love
But yeah,
that. I
like
love
when,
that,
when people
actually.
compare about the olden days and like, oh, everyone used to like, I don't want to be someone's boyfriend after 2 dates, girlfriend. Sorry,
No, but
my gender. I don't
well, that's love bombing if you become somebody's girlfriend after 2 dates, and we
yeah.
spoke about
But
that on
that's
the
what they
previous
did in the
episode.
olden
That's what
days.
lesbians do.
Yeah, and also
2 dates, married.
yeah, that, and I am going to say that is true because well, it's a stereotype, and we've got some
But
lesbians
stereotypes
coming
are
on.
there for a reason sometimes.
Okay, so does that mean you're promiscuous all the time?
No, I'm actually. I think that I'm the opposite. But most gay people are
But
very promiscuous.
stereotypes are there for a reason. So
Yeah, because most gay people are promiscuous. That's
but
true.
not all lesbians move in after
Oh,
one
no,
day.
yeah, not
But
all of
that's
them.
the
But
stereotype.
if we talk about, like the majority of people, that's true. Majority of lesbians that I know move very quickly. Majority of gay men I know are promiscuous.
Right. Okay. Next bit of this conversation. How are you doing so far?
Good.
Enjoying it?
Yeah.
What have you got to say? I feel like you've got a lot of stuff that you want to let.
No,
you
it's
want to
like-
let out. Go on.
No, it's like I
Go on. I don't have to be the star of the show. Go
No,
for
no,
it.
no. Honestly, I don't know. It'll come to me when it come. I forgot what I wanted to say.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. Honestly, I actually don't remember what I was gonna say.
Okay, so you go on dates quite. Can I have some more prosecco if that's okay?
Yeah.
You go on dates quite often.
I wouldn't say quite often. I've seen like maybe just because this week I've been on like 2 dates, and for me that's a lot. I didn't go for a date for quite a long time, just because I feel like I don't know. I'm not in a rush today, and yeah, I feel like I pretty much know what I want at this age, and yeah, like most of the people I go on dates is not a match for me. And now I know. I feel like you have 3 relationships in your life. The first one is like a test one. The second one is like toxic love, and the third one is like the one that lasts more. And that's the one I'm not particular. I feel.
Do you want to be in a relationship or
No, not right. I feel I'm not ready right
So
now.
you at the moment, and if I was like your older brother, and I kind of feel like I am at times because I'm watching you doing all this crazy stuff. Even from back when we were at the bar, I was like, Lorenzo,
I know,
don't
well,
talk to them like that.
Oh God, I love to be a mess sometimes.
I know you do. But what I would say to you at this point in your life, focus on your career because this opportunity doesn't happen to everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's such a huge thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't get tied down to some man
No,
who's
no.
going to say, let's retire in the Cotswolds or something.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like I've never been like that. I feel like with very strong opinions. That said, yeah, I don't know if you're asking what I'm looking for now, I'm looking more like a stability that I don't have, because of course I quit a high paying like corporate, private equity job, and now I don't have that. So I would like someone to balance that out for me. So I need financial stability with someone. Which doesn't mean I'm superficial. It just means I need stability with someone.
We'll get onto that in a minute. Right, April, what is a reason to ghost someone?
Don't like him anymore. Didn't like him to begin with, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I can't really think of many reasons other than you don't like them that much. Like, unless you're going through some shit, like maybe you're going through a bout of depression or whatever, and you're not in the mood to message anyone. But do you mean an acceptable reason or just a reason?
However you interpret that question.
Well, I mean, I've never ghosted someone after, like, the way you were saying at the beginning. Like, I've never ghosted someone after a long period of dating. I've only ever ghosted after 1 or 2 days.
I think that's fine.
And
don't know the
the reasons, I don't like them. Or, sometimes the thing that I do dislike about modern dating, and I like modern dating, and I like the fact that we have so many options.
Yeah.
But one thing I do dislike is I feel like nobody puts in any effort. And sometimes I kind of ghost people just as a byproduct, as like they're putting in no effort to see me. So like, I'm not going to message you then. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not making any effort at all. You're literally texting me like, oh, do you want to
Yep.
go for a drink, and not making a plan. Then I'm not texting you back.
You're getting spicy
no.
now.
I was like,
Let's
yes, but I think you hit the nail on the head. You have a very good point, but you are mature enough to vet that and understand that guy is not ready to date. I think that's all I'm saying is I hear a lot of criticism, and I have a lot of criticism about modern dating as well. But at the same time, it's your responsibility to be mature enough and understand the dating dynamics, to understand that's not a good candidate for you to be dating. Like, the responsibility is on you. if you get led, maybe you find a bit like some guy that is acting weird, but that's an exception. You have to be mature enough to understand that, and also to vet intentionality. I think the ways to vet intentionality is where is he taking on the dates? Also, is he paying or not paying? Depends on your role. But I think nowadays, paying.
We know about your roles, don't we?
But I think
Watch episode 2, guys, if you want to know April's role.
watch it.
I'm not paying.
I can
though.
only guess that. But at the same time, I think paying for me, if I go on one date on a first date and the guy who's inviting me and pays, that for me shows that you're intentional. Like, there's nothing wrong. We see money as something evil, you know what I mean? I feel in these days, but to me, like, it's something beautiful. It shows like I'm enjoying your company. I'm not paying for your time, you know? I'm just paying because I'm having a good time with you. And how
Okay.
do I show intentionality? With paying.
Right, okay. Well, if money is important to you, then why did you ghost that guy that was wearing Prada?
No. No, I never said money is important to me. For me, it's just how I vet you. Is like, you ask me on a date, you pay. It shows you're intentional. It shows you're having a good time with me.
But that guy that was wearing it, like, he probably would have paid for it. He probably would have paid for the date.
We
And
actually
you,
did rounds, which I was like,
oh,
yeah,
so you
I feel
think
like
that,
I'm a school.
I hate doing rounds
Oh my
on a
god!
date.
But I should have been more of like, my sister actually told me, was like,
God,
just
these
do this.
divas.
He told me
These
do this girl tactic to be
divas.
like, because he said, "Would you like a second round?" And I said, "Yes, I'll go get them." And she was like, "That's how girls do." She'd be like, "Yes, I would love that."
Okay, so when you go on a
No,
date, do you
always-
expect for them to pay
always
for everything?
50-50 because the type of men I date, right? And I like it. I'm not. This is no criticism, but I like slutty men. You know, like I like men who are on field.
By the way, I got criticism from someone. By the way, not criticism to
About
one
me?
of my, no about Field. I hope I'm looking into the camera right now. One of my listeners in South Africa, her name's Marie. Hi, Marie, if you're watching. Hi.
Marie.
She doesn't know what Field is, so do you want to explain what Field is? And then
It's just a dating app. It was designed. I mean, I'm not the spokesperson for Field, but
You should
I
be.
believe that
Product
it was
placement.
designed to be a sexually open app. Designed for anybody to use, people in polyamorous couples, open relationships, single people, gay, straight, trans, everything. And it's supposed to be a
Big
place
Grindr.
to explore your sexuality.
we'll get onto that in a minute.
But it's not a kink app. A lot of people call it a kink app, but it's not kink specific. A lot of people are on there, you know, a lot of people are just on there because they want to try a different style and a more sexually free type of dating. And I the type of man, well, straight man, that's all I can speak for, of course, that's on Field, they're not really the type of man that's taking girls on dates and paying and taking them on lavish dinners because, you know, you're kind of there to explore your sexuality. And I don't know, I feel like there is like a specific type of person, and it's usually people who are more looking for like monogamous relationships that are then like, oh, I'm going to take you out and I'm going to spoil you. But I personally think, like, if you know you're going to fuck me, the least you can do is fucking buy my drink. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's even more reason
But
to
why?
pay
What's
for me.
what's wrong with doing rounds?
Well, I'm just poor. I'm just broke.
No, but if you go to no, right, so let's say for example we go to, and I feel like Weatherspoons, you owe me a check because I've mentioned you several times during this podcast.
I ain't going to Weatherspoons on a date.
Right. So let's think of someone that be at one's affordable, right?
No,
We're not talking about the diva places.
no, I will not go to be.
No,
but
I'm
we're
not
just-
going to be at one. It's
But
so
you can't have
corporate,
you
darling.
can't have your cake and eat it. Like,
Yeah.
look,
Or you can. Don't underestimate yourself, Daryl. Please, you can.
I'm not underestimating myself, but I think that there are people listening to this or watching it who have got limited choices. So we're trying to speak to everyone.
You know, but I think what I think is then we're in different dating pool. It's nothing personal. What I'm saying is I'm looking something that's matching with me.
Right. So let me just interrupt you. Sorry,
Please.
I have to. Would you only date someone who earns a lot of money?
No.
No.
But then you want them to pay for everything.
No.
Well,
I never said everything. I just said like, on the first date, if you like me, it shows it. How do we vet intentionality? That's what it shows for me. Because I cannot tell by the text. You might just want to, you know, end up in bed with me. And at least you put in, you know, money is not this dirty thing. You're putting something down there to be like, actually maybe care about this date a bit. That's what it is for me.
Right.
Is that
So
leave the money. I
Okay.
don't
So
care.
question to for both of you. If you went now, what's your favorite drink, both of you?
A picante.
Oh my
Picante.
God, I love a picante actually.
Yeah?
definitely.
We'll go for picantes like on Sunday or something. I'll
That
take
is
you out.
so middle class of me. Like, I can't believe I just
Look
got
at you,
picante.
girl.
Right. So if that person bought a picante jug,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
They paid for that. That was a picante jug.
Oh.
That's their payment. And they're saying, right, you said you love picantes and this is for you. Would you then expect them to get dinner, a couple of shots after dinner, maybe some cocktails after?
Well, are we
I
going
mean-
for dinner? Nobody goes on.
You're
dinner
going for
dates in
drinks.
this
You're going
day
for
and age.
drinks.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, no
You're
one
going
doesn't
for
do
drinks, but if you like them enough, you might nibble on something.
that. Yeah.
I don't expect. And when I go on dates, it has pretty much always been 50-50. I'm very rarely paid for, but
what's
I
the difference
really
between
like.
50-50?
What are you,
rounds.
Swedish or something?
Well, no,
This is what Swedish
yeah,
people do.
rounds. Like I always do rounds. Like I'm not against.
But I
it.
thought you didn't like rounds.
No, I don't like it, but I'm not against it. You know, like there are things I don't like work, but I'm not against
But
it.
him, I feel like
I have to go.
Obviously,
Actually, I
it's
am
different
against work.
because you're talking about men with women, so I feel the roles are more defined. So usually the man is expected to pay. Sorry, maybe I'm diverging.
No, go
Laurel,
for it.
But
Go
all I'm
for it.
thinking is, I was talking about this yesterday. I feel like, because right now, between men and women, I don't know if you would agree, but like, for example, women want like equality, whatever. But what? Sure, like I'm not saying that in that way. But all I'm saying is, I actually think men and women shouldn't have equality, but should have fairness. More like women and men have different skill sets. You know what I mean? A woman shouldn't have. Yeah, you should have the same opportunity, but also, for example, if you want to lift weights, build roads or build planes, you know, men are better at doing that, and women have better skill
Are
sets
they though?
to do other stuff.
I just think maybe
You know what I
women
mean?
just don't. I don't think that's true. I mean, I disagree with that. I think that women can be good at building roads and lifting weights, but I just
Yeah,
think,
but on the balance of chances, you don't do it. As a man will not be good, have attention to detail as a woman would have. I feel we have different skill
but
I
sets.
have,
but
I have
the thing
ADHD,
is-
They complement
babes.
each
I ain't
other.
got
We're
no
playing
attention
into
to
stereotypes again. I think that's
But
the
no,
issue.
this is what I mean. I don't think it's a stereotype at all. I think like this is more like
It is.
politically correct feminism, which, by the way, so I feel like a lot of feminism, they don't know what they want because they want equality. But the truth is, we're like, you know, yin and yang, where it's almost like men and women have different skill set that complete each other. I think we shouldn't try to be the same. We should try and like be the best at what we do in our roles. Because, for example, look at prime ministers in this country or even in Italy. Women can only be right wing, otherwise, because they emulate what men do. But all I'm saying is, if we had a prime minister, actually is more in their feminine energy and more nurturing and more like listening to people. That's what women are good at. And I've hung out with women pretty
Are
much
they
my whole
though?
life.
I ain't nurturing. I'm not nurturing at all.
Yeah.
I'm a bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, you are. You're a fucking bitch, April.
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
Right.
I ain't nurturing. Like, no way. I don't want kids. I'm absolutely not. None of it.
Can I just say, not to interrupt you, she has had so many positive comments, like everywhere. Like, somebody in Sweden loves you, by the way. If you're that person who wrote to me in Sweden,
Really?
thank you so much. April's here.
Thanks.
Yeah, Helen, I think your name is. Helen, I'm sorry, Helena.
Well, I've never been to Sweden, but I'd love to go. So maybe I'll come hang out with
Yeah,
you.
she's been completely unfiltered, and I think you're gonna get that as well.
I've been to Sweden. I'm not. I mean, it's boring. Sorry, Helena. I mean, most people in Sweden and Norway like kill themselves. To be honest, because it's fucking boring. To be honest.
Guys, what is this podcast? We're all gonna get cancelled from this, aren't we? You don't
Not
care about.
me.
Okay.
We don't care about
I
getting
str-
cancelled,
I
don't you?
No, but it's not cancer. It's just true.
But this is
I
why I brought-
strongly disagree with all of these points about how women are nurturing.
I'm
and
cutting
can't
that out.
build
No, I'm
roads.
cutting
No,
that
I'm
out.
not saying they can build roads. I think they can, but all I'm saying is on the balance of chances. Like I think that this feminism is very idealistic to be like, yeah, but ultimately,
Is there another one?
most people that build roads are actually men. Yes, I'm not saying everyone. There are exceptional women building roads and they're good at that. But I feel like right now, I feel like we should actually appreciate how we have different skill sets. You know, why do you think we can only have right wing prime ministers? Because they exhibit masculine energy and they compete with men. This is the truth. Tell me one prime minister from left wing.
I can.
Tony Blair.
No,
women.
Oh.
I'm so sorry that I'm going to get her name wrong, and I'm not even going to try to butcher it. But the lady in New Zealand. I don't want to
actually-
butcher her
Yeah,
name. I don't want to butcher her
I
name.
so don't know about the news, politics. I have no idea what.
But anyway,
I
this
said
is-
in the UK and in Europe.
but this is not about-
Surely, I mean, yeah, this is not
Let's
what we're
get back.
talking
Let's
about.
get back to ghosting
Let's get back
before
to ghosting.
we get cancelled and
No,
on
but it's not
TMZ or
what
something.
pisses me off is that it's so controversial to talk about this stuff when it's like I
We
mean,
can.
no. This one, no. I'm not saying about you, but I feel like sometimes in conversation, like everyone is like, it's almost like you always gotta say like, oh no, women can do everything. To me, it's like, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying men cannot do some stuff. I noticed it with my sister, who does the garden in my house and being out and outdoor and cleaning when the fox shits in my garden. My sister ain't gonna do it. My cousin that I live with, they ain't gonna do it.
Thank you.
You get what I mean?
I get
Though
what you mean.
I feel like there's some differences, but when it comes to like, for example, other stuff. Then my sister is actually much better at that. She crochets my clothes. I could never do that. I'm not saying men don't
And you
crochet.
wore it on the show.
But women were probably, are probably better at doing that. They're more attention
I
to
can't
detail.
crochet.
They're more expressive. They're more listening. Like I feel like when it comes to feelings, women will always understand. They're more empathic people.
Oh, one of my listeners in New Jersey, thank you so much. You've told me not to say your name, so I will not say it. But we've got the experts here who are going to help coach you through this, and hopefully you come to the right decision on your own. So she's been seeing this guy for 6 months, and they've been going to the cinema. They've gone to restaurants. He will drive to Manhattan to go to Broadway because it's like an hour drive to get there, and he'll spend loads of money and that sort of thing. So all of that's been going great for 6 months. She hasn't heard from him in 3 weeks, and she's pregnant.
God. Does she want to keep the baby?
We can't
don't know.
advise that.
How long ago was that?
So it was three.
Oh my
It
God,
was
that is
3. It was 3 weeks ago.
devastating.
So she hadn't heard from him in 3 weeks. No one's at the house. So he lives like, I don't know, like 15-minute drive from her.
So
He's
she
not
hasn't
there.
missed the abortion window.
She hasn't seen anyone in the house.
So she's drove past his house.
She's drove past it. He's gone.
No, I mean,
Maybe something has happened. Like,
She's called every hospital. So she's asked, has something happened to him? She just wants advice on what she should do. So do you guys have advice as our ghosters?
I mean,
so he's not even in his house.
He's not in the house.
Wait, this is like a whole. This could be a true crime podcast. Bloody hell!
Could he be hiding in his house? Or,
But how would he know that she
She's
was
got
going
a
to
key,
drive
so
past?
she's-
oh my God, maybe he's hiding in his house. Imagine.
No, but how would
Americans
why
are
would
crazy,
he hide
though.
all the time? Because like he's not going to know that she's going to drive past.
The thing is, she has contact with the family. I just want to make sure that I've got this right. Thank you so much, by the way, a lady from New Jersey that wrote
Thank
in.
you.
So his sister is not giving specific answers. So obviously he's still alive because she said, like, is he okay? And all of that sort of stuff. The sister's not saying that he's not okay because he's been in contact. She's like, oh, he's busy.
Busy?
He's busy. And she's,
Does the sister
I
know
think that for
she's
me,
pregnant?
and also
if
the
she
sister knows
wants
she's
to
pregnant.
keep the baby, then have the baby. And if you're ready to be a single mother, which it's an amazing job, and if you really want to do that, then do it. But if you want him to be an active father, like I'm very pro-abortion. I'm very pro-choice, but I'm not gonna advise someone to have an abortion because I don't know like what your feelings about that are gonna be. But
Have the
if
abortion.
you're not ready to be a single mother because this man is not going to provide, then that baby's got to go, girl.
What do you think? As somebody who ghosts people quite often,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. No, wait. There's a difference. I would go someone that I don't like after a couple of dates. After 6 months and she's pregnant, is definitely not dating
he doesn't
material.
know she's pregnant.
Okay, but I'm sorry, but also the sister.
I don't think she should tell him for sure, though.
But what kind of sister even she knows she's pregnant?
The sister
She's not
knows.
giving an explanation. Is that the kind of family you want to associate yourself with for the rest of your life? Yeah, okay, is that life? But at the same time, think about the quality of life that your child is gonna have. I think that should be your priority more than anything. And I don't think that's gonna be a good one if there's
Well,
a
it
father
depends how
that you
good
can
she is as a
trust.
mom.
Can you trust him? I think the answer is no at this point.
Yeah.
Like being blunt. Yeah, I don't have contact with my dad or whatever, but at the same time, it has been present growing up, and I feel like if you can prevent or vet, a family should be a place. A child, the only thing he needs is like feeling is safe, and stability. Can you give him stability in your house with your support group? If you can, then maybe keep it. But at the same time, it is a responsibility, and you might regret it.
Okay.
Does she already have children?
No.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
she's 28 years old.
me personally, I would never advise someone what to do about their own pregnancy. But me personally, I would not have that baby. But I don't want kids anyway, so
Right.
it's different.
So you've got some decisions to make. The clock is ticking. We wish you all the best.
The clock is ticking.
Of course it's ticking.
Like,
She's
Yeah,
pregnant.
Wow.
She's pregnant.
Wow, Darrell, you
you
shot me on that one.
I thought you meant like her
Sorry, it's
biological
Millennial
clock.
Secrets. I'm not editing any of this out. The clock is ticking. So you've got
As in the clock for having a baby. Gosh,
Well,
she's got,
for the
she's
abortion,
got, she's
no.
got a good like 10 years.
I actually
No,
feel
the
sorry
clock-
talking about this because you're gonna be affected by the abortion, like personally, as a woman, and all that does to your body. But ultimately, that's the decision of the quality of life of your baby. So it's only your decision, as you say that. I agree,
Yes.
but you have to evaluate this properly because you might not guarantee them a good life, and also have not the best life yourself.
right. Number 2. This is a bit lighter. Sorry if that got a little bit deep, but
Yeah,
I
abortion.
did tell all of you that we're going to mix it up sometimes. It's not always going to
Also,
be.
I just want to say, like, abortion is not that deep, in my personal opinion. Like, I think
It
that we
shouldn't
should.
be.
I think that we should talk about it more. It shouldn't be such a taboo. Like, if you don't want a kid, like, I'm sorry, we have contraception. Sometimes it fails. People aren't out here saying, "Oh, let's just fuck without a condom. Come in me raw and see what happens."
Could
People
you
are
imagine
getting
how many people would be
by
pregnant
accident.
if with all your partners?
Me,
Yeah. Could you imagine? Oh, okay.
he's cooking.
But people aren't out here like. I just want to say, like, to all the people who think that abortion is wrong, people aren't out here being like, "Oh, let's just fuck about and see what happens. Contraception goes wrong, condoms break." Like, it's not that deep. We should talk about it more.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm whatever, but I have experience with some of my friends being pregnant. Is on an emotional level, it wrecks you, abortion.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it with someone
No, it
very
does.
close to me, and I mean, she was a bit of a mess. Like, and I had to support her because she was living with me at the time, and is an emotional level messes you up.
It does.
So it's not a
hormonally,
decision
but
you take lightly.
This is more. It's more to the point of, like, nobody's fucking getting pregnant and being like,
Yeah.
"Fuck it, abortion." It puts your body through hell. Your body prepares to be pregnant, and then it's
Yeah.
ripped away. Your body doesn't know what to do.
But also
No one's being like, "Oh, let's just have unprotected sex, and if I get pregnant, let's just have an
Yeah.
abortion." Like. And this is what, for pro-life people, like, you need to fucking consider that. No one's just out here being like, let's just have an abortion. You have an abortion because you have to. And, like, I just think that, pro-life is completely wrong. I suspect all people's opinions.
Everyone's
pro-life is
pro-life, but
completely
you
wrong, in my
can't be.
opinion.
You can also be pro-choice and pro-life.
Yeah, like, I'm pro-life if you want.
Yeah.
No, I'm not pro.
It should be pro-choice. Pro-choice, right?
I'm pro. Yeah, choice, exactly.
Pro-choice.
Choice for life or not life.
Right.
It's not a fucking living being.
But I feel
It's a
some people
cell.
maybe are not educated enough to know about contraception and these other stuff. That's
Oh,
the
come
other
on. She's
part.
28. I'm sorry. You knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, but she's from New Jersey.
No, it's fine. Right. This is a bit of a lighter one. And this is to do with a grinder relationship. Grinder. So.
I love Grindr. I mean, obviously, I haven't used it.
I was going to say, you want Grinder, April?
I'm so here
There are
for
some
the
girls on
vibe.
Grindr that like.
I'm so here for the vibe of Grindr. My housemate has Grindr, and he's always just fucking. I'm like, where do you find them? He's like, Grindr. I'm like, dude, I wish I had something like that.
Really?
Do you not think Field is similar to...
No, you still
Okay.
have to go on dates with
I
Field.
need to bring this back to ghosting. Ghosting's acceptable on Grindr, right? Because it's hookups.
I mean, obviously. I mean, yeah. Obviously, I think if you're on Grindr, you have to learn. There's some people that take it personally if you don't reply. I'm like, there's open messaging. Anyone can message you. A non-reply, it's a reply. Probably I've seen it. Like, double message. There's nothing wrong about double messaging. But if I don't reply to double message, get the hint and move on. I mean, obviously, I think this is very simple.
So the next story is from somebody who met... The guy that met somebody else on Grindr.
Already.
Yeah.
Red
so
flag.
they've been seeing... we'll get on
Like
to
the
it.
fuck?
Have you ever had a boyfriend that you met on Grindr, either of you?
Yeah, Allah, no. Obviously, no.
No.
So
the
no,
fuck?
so.
Although I'm not
Okay.
excluding. Some people,
But
I'm
does
not approved.
that happen?
Yeah.
Oh,
My
people
friend
get
met
relationships
his
on
husband
Grindr.
on Grindr, but they're now
Love that.
divorced.
Yeah, no, so this is what I mean. Yeah, there you go.
now got divorced.
But I don't know if you guys can agree. Maybe I'm going off topic there. Sorry.
Go for it. It's fine.
But
This
I
is
feel
not
like
live.
if I meet someone in real life, even if maybe we're less of a match than someone on Grindr, I give more weight to it because I love to have a story. Ultimately, if you believe in monogamy, it's more the story we have together rather than, I mean, the lust and the crazy sex is going to last up until a certain time. You need to be in love of our idea and the idea of monogamy. I feel like rather than being in love with the person, is more in love with the idea of having a project together and loving monogamy together and loving being together. And if you have a story from Grindr, it's gonna be harder. That's what I believe in. But I know some people that maybe hooked up and then they got into a relationship, which is fine. It's not my kind of thing.
So this is what happened. So this guy met somebody else on Grindr, turned into a relationship. So you go over, you have sex, whatever, and that then turned into a brunch the next morning, and then dinner the next night,
Okay.
and then they went home and then saw that person again, and it went on for a few weeks. So the younger one, the one who's written into me, said that the older one has cut off all communication and blocked him from Grindr as well.
Is younger and older significant? Like, do they have a
28 and 35.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, yeah.
That's like normal.
But he's trying to work out if he should reach out, because quite a lot of psychologists have said if you feel like you're being ghosted, reach out to that person.
I think, actually, sorry to interrupt
Go
you,
on.
but I got my friend Dom. I don't know if he's watching this, but if you are,
Do
hi.
I know Dom?
No, a very recent friend.
Okay.
We actually met on field. He doesn't even know this, but when we were on our field date, didn't work out romantically, but we're good friends now. When we went on our field date, he actually low-key gave me the best piece of dating advice I have ever heard. So we got to a point where we realised we weren't clicking romantically, and we started talking about other people we were dating and what was going on in our lives. And I told him about the guy that ghosted me, and I was like, I've not heard from this dude for 2 months. And he said to me, every person that I've ever been romantically interested in, I always reach out because at least I know I've done my best. So at least I know if this hasn't worked out, it has not been because I've withdrawn communication. I have always done my best to make this work. And I always know in myself that would have never worked because I tried my hardest and it didn't work.
Yeah,
so I think
that's
absolutely
amazing.
reach out, because the thing is like, and this is also part of what made me reach out to that guy. And, I found out that he was going through all that shit and it sucked, but like, at least I got closure. And yeah, I think that like always reach out. The worst that can happen is they're already fucking ghosting you. Like, you might as well. Do you know what I mean?
But when you've ghosted people, the two of you, have you had people reach out and just say like, why aren't you, like, what's going on? Or?
Nobody's ever asked me why. I have had people text again.
I bet people have
like,
No, if you ask me why, if you ask me why, then you're ready to hear it. But I'm never gonna be honest with you, because ultimately it's not about you as a person. I just understood we're not compatible. Because sometimes it happened to me. It was like, can you give me some feedback? I'm like, there's
Like
nothing.
it was a job interview.
Yeah, it's like there's not, and I lied because I was like, oh no, I'm just not ready for dating. I just bullshitted you. But the point is, I mean, ultimately, and we're not compatible, it's nothing about you. Like, you're not wrong. The problem is not me, it's not you. I didn't feel the compatibility. That's maybe what I would say. But at the same time, I don't want to feel like we still had a good date, but I probably don't want to be friends. So it's just not personal. I feel like sometimes, you said earlier, closure. I feel like in this day and age, we are obsessed with you need to get closure. There's no such thing as closure. Like, even if you go to therapy, you're never gonna get the answer. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like that one answer, or seeing them again for the last time, or their explanation. You're always gonna know more. That's human nature. That's why we're such a successful species. You will never get closure.
But is it successful? Because we've gone from breaking up over text to just not being too afraid to actually say to someone it's not working out.
Yeah, that sucks, to be fair.
I do think you owe that person. If it's been 1 date, whatever, 2 dates, whatever, I don't care if you've slept with the person or not. I think if you've gone out for dinner with that person, they maybe have met your friends. This is what we're talking about, like when things have really progressed and you're not giving that person an explanation.
Okay, but I mean, if it's been 3 dates, what kind of explanation do you want me to
No,
give
not
you?
3. We're not saying 3, but
Okay,
like,
yeah, obviously,
the
if it's
thing-
been a couple of
but
months.
the interesting thing about people that ghost is that they will still watch all of your Instagram stories. They'll still listen to your
yeah.
podcast and listen to everything that you're
Sounds
saying
personal.
because they
Actually-
absolutely love your podcast and everything you've got to say, but they don't want to reach out. And
But
that's it.
actually, no, I actually have the perspective. So girls always say, I mean, like, not to gender it, but like, it is often girls. They'll be like, oh my God, he ghosted me, but he always watches my story first. as somebody who I think as a woman, I date quite like a man. Like, if we're talking stereotypes, I'm probably like quite more on the male spectrum of things. And dude, there are boys I do not like. I do not want to date them. But I still like want to see that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to see, I don't know, like, just because, like, I feel like people say, oh, he's watching my stories, he must be into, no, I'm sorry, he's not.
I just
like,
don't get that though. Like, if you're, and I feel quite passionately about this because ghosting is not just in relationships, it's with friends and colleagues as well. If you're done with someone, why are you watching their Instagram stories?
Because it's interesting.
Yeah. I'm
to
more with you on that one.
Really?
I just want to see what you get up to.
When I'm done with somebody, you're dead to me.
No,
But
I'm
in
like,
the ashes.
But you like
and also,
them.
no,
You
and
probably
also,
like
do you know
them
what
though.
else it is?
And they
You
know who
want
they
the
are. If
attention.
I'm not talking to somebody at all, friend, colleague, relationship, whatever, like we're talking about ex-colleagues, not current, but if I'm not talking to somebody at all, they're out.
But you're more emotionally involved than the real, because it's like, if I don't care about your feelings, I'll watch your story. It's not that deep. Like, I just want to see what you get up to.
It's really not that deep. And
Like-
If
also,
someone has hurt you though, do you still want to watch their stories?
No, okay, no, but that's different. If I have
but we're
feelings for
not
someone,
her. We don't
yeah.
like them.
If it's I'm talking about ghosting about the first dates. Obviously,
No, I'm not. Okay,
if
right.
it's someone I've been emotionally involved with, I'm gonna protect myself. I'm actually gonna unfollow or even block. I think blocking is actually great.
All
'Cause,
my
like,
exes are blocked.
why in this day? Yeah, in this day
I
and
don't
age,
block them.
we still have. I think that is bad. And it should come with a warning. I mean, back in the days when you break up with someone, you don't see them unless you bump to them on the street. You're reminded them by people posting about it. Protect yourself. It's actually good for you and for them. Just block them if you have feelings for them. I think that's the best decision you ever do in your life. Otherwise, that will set you back, hold you back, and you will
But
not
if
be able
either
to
of you been
get on
ghosted,
with
but
it.
let's move away from relationships, but like a
Yeah,
friend
sorry.
or a colleague or something like that
Kinda,
that doesn't like
yeah.
you, that's ghosted you, because this has happened to me. And what I always find is that these fuckers are still watching everything that I'm posting on Instagram or TikTok and that sort of thing.
But it's really not that deep. Like, you just, like, there are buttons to click on and you click them when you're
Yeah.
on Instagram. Like, it doesn't mean
But why do you
anything.
think these people are still watching the videos?
Because they're interested in what you get up to. Like,
But if they're interested, then why have they not made the effort?
because they're
to-
not interested enough.
right.
It's
I
just
think-
a button to click. Social media is made to be
Yeah.
addictive. We have these circles and it's like, look, new content, new content, new content.
Yeah.
Like, I don't watch everyone's story because I follow like 800 people and that would take a lot of
Same.
time. But all the top, like, you know, the people who you watch
Yeah.
most, I watch all of them. Even people I don't like, I watch their story.
Yeah, I think we need to actually learn how to get on with it. Like, let it flow. Even with friendship, with the stuff, is like, if it doesn't work out, we don't meet up, whatever, just let it flow. You'll get new friends. You'll move on. Otherwise, you end up hurting yourself more than anything.
And the
Okay.
thing about liking as well, I feel like a lot of people will be like, oh, this person ghosted me, but they always like my photos. Like, they just want attention. I'm speaking to a few guys who I'm not hurting them or anything. You know, I'm very honest with my communication. I'm like, look, I just want something casual. I'm not really looking for the one right now. But, you know, like, I'll ignore their messages all the time. I still like their posts. Like, I like the attention, you know? Like, okay, this is actually probably very manipulative, but I just like them to be like, oh, she liked my post though, so she's still into me, you know? Like,
Really?
I'm keeping them
Are
hanging.
you like that as well?
I feel that's a very man mentality. Most of my I don't know how many also males watch this, but I feel like,
At the moment, it's majority male.
okay, there's a difference between, again, I don't want to make it gender, but men and women, isn't it? Women that I know will not overthink, but think about the behind, why he liked it, why this and that. One men sometimes like, I'm just gonna like you because you look fit in that one.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Do you
that
know
deep.
what I mean?
Like, it's like women,
I'm just liking it.
we'll be
'cause
like,
you
why
look
did he do
fit.
that? Why did he not follow me? It's like, you're thinking
doesn't
men
mean
don't
shit,
think like
yeah.
that. Just not thinking people. Like,
So to summarize, to summarize about ghosting, you both think it's okay.
it's okay up until a certain point. Obviously, if
What's
it's
the
been,
certain point?
I would say 3-4 dates, and also is appropriate to do. If they ask you an explanation, give one. You don't have to be non-honest necessarily. And also, the most important thing is don't take it too deeply. Just move. You need to learn in life how to move on, and you have to move on from that. If that
Agreed.
helps you, unfollow them. Move on with your life. Don't try and understand why they ghosted you, and you're not good enough. Stop doubting yourself. Move on, because maybe you'll be the one ghosting. You know, it's actually helping you to find you a better match.
April?
I think they said it very well in Sex and the City, when there's an episode where Miranda learns, she speaks to a male friend, and the man goes, she's like, why is he not reaching out to me? We went on a date, it went really well. And the guy goes, well, he's just not that into you. And
Oh,
she
I
has this
remember that
big
one. I
realization.
remember that.
And she goes around telling all her friends, and she's like,
Is that Skipper?
he's just not that into I can't remember
Yeah.
who it is. I think it's just some random dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. Going too deep into the lore of Sex
love
and the
that.
City. But she goes around telling all of her friends, and she's
He's
like,
just not
oh,
that into you.
he just doesn't like me. And it's quite freeing to have that realization. And trust me, I have been in situations where I have been waiting for a man's text and obsessing over it. And like before I was with my ex, I would literally be devastated if he took a day to respond to me. And we actually ended up in a 2-year relationship, and we were completely incompatible. And what that taught me was like, if somebody is just not giving you the energy, the relationship with them is going to echo that. If you actually get what you want, if this person that you like and you're obsessing over actually ends up dating you, but they are taking so long to reply to you and they seem like they're not giving you energy, that's going to follow into the relationship. So you have to learn, do you know what? I am worth having somebody who gives me the exact amount of energy that I want.
Amen.
And that is why I think that ghosting is actually, in a way, good for you, because you realize, oh, well, that person wasn't putting in any energy to date me anyway, and I deserve better than that.
And I just want to say to any of our listeners that don't live in a city, we're coming from experience where this is quite normal.
Oh,
and it doesn't
I've
hurt as
dated
much.
outside of the city, and it's actually very different.
Yes.
I've had people outside of the city ring me,
Yeah.
call me to cancel a first date we not
Yeah.
even met, which is obviously very respectful.
So if you are moving to a city like London, New York, Los Angeles, somewhere like that, this sort of behavior is normal, but it's not a reflection necessarily on you. That person is just ready to move on, because dating, it's like going to the supermarket. There isn't just one brand of cereal, there's 100. There isn't just one brand of bread, there's hundreds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you come to London, develop a thick skin.
Yes.
or,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know.
You're gonna get rejected.
Yep.
I literally told a man yesterday that I didn't want to meet him anymore because he was being too full on and we hadn't met yet.
But that was you know, when I put that thing on Instagram and I was asking about people's ghosting stories,
Yeah.
a lot of people choose to ghost because the person is too full on. All that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
dude, sometimes he was like, I'm going to set aside Saturday evening. I was like, can you make other plans because I'm not sure if I'm going to be free?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's actually putting me off. Like, I don't want to meet you. Why are you setting aside Saturday night for me? We've never met.
On Saturday night, that's commitment, man.
I know. Do you
But
know
personally,
what I
I don't
mean?
know. I feel there's a divide because, like, I don't know. If you go out with, like, I don't know. I feel like maybe that's coming from like my Italian background as well. Is like, I don't know. I like last minute dating more than anything, because like I got this guy that is actually quite cute. We've been on a couple of days. I will see him again, but he's always like, "Oh, what are you doing?" In like,
How old
not
is he?
this week.
He's an old guy, but guys, he likes them
I think
old.
he's like 23. Actually.
Oh.
And yeah, just
Wow.
I know, yeah, wow.
And you
Love a
expect him to
younger
pay for you? Do you?
No, I'm not saying I don't have. Well, yeah, if you want to see me again on the first day at least, I think
he's
that'd be
23.
nice. No, but that said, not really, because I don't think I see like serious dating is too young for me. But I enjoy spending time with him. Like as friends, I think we really connect.
Is he a fan of the show?
Yeah, he actually is.
And I think we'll leave it there. We'll find out what happens next
Wow.
time.
But what I was gonna say, sorry, I'm gonna
Oh,
land.
sorry.
But it's more like I like if you ask me in 2 weeks time when are you free, I'm already like I don't know what I'm gonna be doing 2 weeks time. Like I like more what are you doing tomorrow. Like I want to go see a
Yeah.
museum or something that I would enjoy it. I'm diverting from what we're talking about.
No, it's fine.
But I think that if you want to ask someone out, I think, and you like them, make it intentional. If you like them, I personally would appreciate that.
I think that's great. I think what I'm going to do is the unedited version will be on for subscribers. So if you've subscribed to Millennial Secrets, you'll get to see all of the dirty things that we've said. Or come on, they're paying for it. If you're subscribing to Millennial Secrets, you'll be able to see the unedited version of this. However, the version that we are putting out is very close to that. April and Lorenzo, thank you so much. I didn't forget what I did. It's been
You
this.
forgot my name.
I'm sorry. I've had a few drinks.
The cheek. Hi.
Well, I didn't forget your name.
Bitch.
I've had a few drinks. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week. I'm going to get these guys back. I think
I think this was the most chaotic.
Of course it
episode.
was. The editors are going to have so much fun. Will, I hope you're ready.
The editor.
The editor is going to have so much...
The only one doing this.
It's going to have so much fun cutting up this
Good thing I was
podcast.
here, though, 'cause if you were an editor and you weren't here.
Wow.
Are we still
Mess.
recording?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck editing this
Oh,
because
good luck, editor.
it's great. But thank you both so much for coming. Would you do it again? You've done this a few
You're
times.
Oh, I'm a main character on this.
You
podcast,
are.
baby
You
girl.
are. You're overshadowing me, and so are you. And you'll come back too, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna up my fees.
Guys. There we go, from the editor straight from the editor. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. This is available on all streaming platforms and YouTube. Thank you.